Hi, Cozy Crew. Welcome back to my cozy corner of the internet where I enjoy reading and painting and overall just taking time to create cozy moments in my life. I'm so glad you've joined us. Hello, and welcome to the start of another cozy reading artsy vlog. Basically, it's just me doing all my favorite things, but also reading a book and kind of telling you about it and giving you my thoughts on it. This week, sorry, my chair is weak. So last night I started a new book. I only got 12 pages through, so I really just started it. I am reading Piranesi. I don't know if it's Piranesi or Piranesi by Susanna Clark. And I picked this up a couple weeks ago at the Unabridged bookstore. I'm in Chicago, so it's like a really popular bookstore in Chicago. And yeah, this has won several prizes. And it's listed as mystery, but it's also like fantasy. And I've seen some really good reviews, like people being surprised by it and liking it. And I think it has a 4.18 star rating on Fable. And essentially it's about Piranesi, who lives in a house that's not a regular building. It's huge, it's massive, it includes oceans, and it has like rows and rows of statues, and the rooms flood. He understands, he's been there for a while, that he understands these patterns of the tide. There's one other person living there that he calls the other, and they talk twice a week, and they research into the great and secret knowledge. And but Piranesi suspects that there's another person there, that they're not alone. And so far it's like really ethereal, really like mystical. It's really interesting the way that it's written. It does read like I'm reading some ancient Greek journal or something. It's really interesting. I like it so far, but again, I'm only 12 pages through, so really I've only gotten to know how this house, which he calls the house, but he also calls it I just fleeced you guys off. He calls it the house, but also the world, because they're one and the same. And that we do know that he's a scientist, and that he doesn't think that his name is Piranesi, but that's what the other calls him. And yeah, so far it's really mysterious and I like it. Plus, like, look how gorgeous that art is. Though I wish they did not put these on there, at least that they could be removable, because what a beautiful cover. Anyways, I gotta get to a work meeting. I was just taking a little break, and I will check in later today. Hopefully I will have read more of this book. So it's the end of the workday, and I read a little bit during lunch, but honestly, like 2 pages, so I don't have much of an update. But since this is gonna be a kind of cozy vlog, I want to show what I get up to besides reading as well. So I'm starting on a new painting. So I like to paint something every day if I can, because I feel like, you know, the more you practice, the better you get. And as I shared in a recent video, that I just recently moved from painting watercolor to doing gouache, and I'm so in love with it. Like, honestly, I love it. It's just so rich, but you can also use it as a watercolor if you want. There are definitely some growing pains with it, but I've loved it so much. Like, I've painted so much with it, and I just love it so much. So let me show you what I'm painting. To start with that, I'm kind of doing this little series. So I follow this guy on Instagram, and he has amazing paintings, and I kind of take him as inspiration. I don't try to copy his style completely, because he's a very unique style, but I love his paintings. So he is who I'm using to help me practice, and some of his paintings include a little cat, and I want to continue this little cat series. So this is the first one I did with this cat, the little cat on a hill staring at the mountains. I made him a tabby cat, and I think in his it's a black cat, but I made it tabby. And this is the one I did yesterday, like the same cat just walking through the meadows. And this is the one I'm gonna work on today. So I gotta get my palette ready. I have water, I have my colors, the brushes I'm gonna use, and I honestly, a spray bottle to reactivate your colors, best idea I've seen. Okay, so I'm also blasting Paramore, but I obviously can't share that because then this video would be copyrighted, and well, don't want that. So I'm gonna get started on my painting and then probably do some reading later. A very snuggly kitty here on my lap. Hi, baby. It's a gorgeous Friday evening here in our house with our beautiful little kitty. Oh, look at her. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi. So Manu and I are about to head out to meet up with our friends. We're gonna go to a farmer's market and a bookstore and then have lunch with our friends. And I just want to show you what I'm wearing today because it finally feels like spring in Chicago. So I'm wearing this dress that my sister gave to me. She's gonna see this and get so mad. So this dress, it's really cute. It has a slit and it's nice and long. I'm wearing this jean jacket that I've had forever that I got secondhand, and I'm wearing my Hogas because we're going to be walking a lot. And jewelry is the same as always: my engagement ring, the matching ring, my earrings, and that is the look for today. Oh, and of course the bag that my mother-in-law gave me because I love it. All right, so I wanted to give a little bit of an update because we've been home for a couple hours. We had a great time with our friends this morning. We went to the market, the farmer's market, and actually they call it a farmer's market, but honestly, there wasn't very much of produce, but it was great. And we got some baked goods, and then we went to the Unabridged bookstore. I got a book. Let me show you. So I actually haven't read anything by Kristen Hanna, but I know like she's really popular, and my friend is going to be reading this book, so I picked it up too, and we can read it together, even though she always reads so much faster than I do. But yeah, The Nightingale, which I heard is really good. So Manu and I had some tea and our pastries that we got, and we've both just been sitting here reading. He's reading the book The Will of Many, and I am, let's see, on page 79 of Piranesi. Now this book is sci-fi, and I feel like I'm starting to get to the sci-fi part. So we know of Piranesi and the other that he meets with every 2 weeks, and how they live in the house that contains like oceans, and it's vast, and they haven't fully explored it. And Piranesi is helping the other find the great knowledge, but now he's having doubts on that. And I want to, and this isn't a spoiler because there's on the back, but like evidence of another person existing in the world has arisen, and I've kind of gotten to that part, and I kind of feel like the sci-fi element is coming out, because so far it's just kind of felt like fantasy, but I feel like the science fiction part is really starting to emerge. But this reads so fast, and it's really interesting, and it's enthralling, and I really am enjoying it. So I'll give an update once I read a little bit more. All right, so it's Sunday afternoon. We went out to eat today for lunch, and then we went and did our grocery shopping, and we're just hanging out at home. I finished this earlier today. So I started this Friday, and I finished it Sunday, like around 12. Today's Sunday around 12. And I honestly, towards the end, I just couldn't put it down. I had to get to the end, and I definitely have thoughts on this. I haven't given it a rating, but I know it'll definitely be at least a 4.5. I don't know, I hardly ever get 5 stars. I don't know why, but it was really good. So far, enthralling, definitely. It hooks you in, and Piranesi is a likable character. I read a review yesterday, says it doesn't make sense until it all makes sense. I feel like that's a good way to describe this book, but it was really great. I think I'll give more of my thoughts after I had some time to think it over, sleep on it, but definitely this has been one of my favorite books of the year. Hello. So I was so inspired by Piranesi, just the imagery, so I'm doing my best attempt at painting what I think like one of the great halls might look like. So I'll just show you the process. And again, I just started painting in January. So I started with watercolor, and then I think in either April, I started with gouache, and I really love gouache. So I am completely in love with gouache. So that's kind of the medium that I use most of the time. So I did a little sketch, and I'm gonna be painting it. I'm keeping it to like really pretty blue colors, grays, things like that. So I'm really excited to see how it comes out. But yeah, just really inspired by the imagery of the book. So here I kind of have, I do have my palette. So I'm using a combination of this, what color is this one? Cobalt blue. I like that when you mix it with white, it kind of makes like this, almost like a slate gray. Of course I have white, black to darken it up a bit. And then I have ultramarine that I'm going to be using for the water. So I've already mixed that up. I finally finished it. I'm happy with how it came out. I like the fog effect and the moon in the corner. I did kind of change it, but I really love how the waves came out. Honestly, it was such an inspiring setting that yeah, I felt like I had to paint something. So it's been quite a few days since I finished Piranesi, and I realized I never gave a proper ending to this vlog or a proper review. Alright, so first, my overall rating of this book is 4.75 stars. It was nearly perfect. There were just a few things that, for me, just kept it from being absolutely perfect, but I can't say that without giving some spoilers. But I will say the absolute best part of this book is the setting. It is so atmospheric, ethereal, dreamlike, just absolutely beautiful. Like, the world is just so stunning to imagine. I also really loved the main character, Piranesi. I loved his innocence and just his view on the world. I will say, did take a really, like, the plot just took, like, I was really surprised by that plot twist. Not fully surprised, because I feel like we kind of were pushed to that, like, it was going to that, but like from the beginning of the story to how it ends, just not how I thought it would be. But I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. It just really grabs you. It's so descriptive, it's so beautiful. Some parts are just kind of eerie and make you kind of think, a little existential thought. Never hurt anybody. But I really love this. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of sci-fi, but you want something approachable. I think this is a really fantastic book, and it's also absolutely gorgeous. Makes me want to read another book from Susanna Clarke, her first novel, but it's huge. So that might be like a Kindle read, because it's like 800 pages. It's super, super big. But those are my thoughts on Piranesi, and thanks for coming along on this reading vlog, and I hope to see you in the next one. I'm trying to take the thumbnail shot and Chai, she just wants to be in it. Extra cameo in the video. Chai says goodbye. Bye.